what you got. Show me what you got.
Yes, touchdown!
I got the world in the palm of my hand.
Are you kidding me? Guess who? Number 11, Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
This guy's the best receiver in the NFL.
See the glory.
Jaxon Smith-Njigba hauled in 10 catches for 153 yards and a touchdown in the NFC Championship game against the Rams. It was the second most yards in Seahawks postseason history, and he became the fifth player with 10 receptions, 150 receiving yards, and a touchdown in a conference championship game. He has been so good this postseason and really throughout the entire season. Is JSN the X factor, though, Doggy?
Ray Berry and Plaxico Burress had those huge games. Yes. Berry 58, Plaxico in the cold weather against the Packers in 2008. Listen, there's two ways to go with this. He's so good, and he gets open, he's crafty, so he'll get his opportunities, but the Rams' defense was terrible. And their secondary was awful. Marcus?
Yeah,
awful.
Yeah.
And here's the other way to look at it. Vrabel comes from the Belichick school. Let's take away the one thing that they like the best. And so as a result, watch Kupp have the big game. Watch the tight end have some chances because he's not going to let him beat him. So I can see that happening where maybe he's not as much a focal point because he's going to make Donald go somewhere else. So I would say no to that. I would say maybe somebody else for those receivers.
I agree with you. I'm going to the other side of the ball, though, Mad Dog. It's Leonard Williams for me.
Ooh, the big cat.
Listen, I watched the Chiefs win Super Bowls, and I watched Pat Mahomes get Super Bowl MVPs. I watched the offense and Andy Reid get praise. If Chris Jones wasn't on the field, they wouldn't have won them. And I think when you get to these type of games, especially the premium that's put on quarterback, interior defensive linemen to me are the most important players in critical games because they can create havoc without a team running away from them. If you got a Micah Parsons and he on the left side, just run to the right. If you got a good player like Will Anderson, that's what made Houston so tough. You had Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson
both sides.
On both sides. I look at this game from the prism of what does Drake Maye do well. Drake Maye scrambles in the center of the pocket as well as anybody. Gets up in the center of the pocket, takes off, uses his legs. The pocket pressure. Milton Williams on the other side. If you ask me who the most important player is for New England, it would be Milton Williams. So Leonard Williams, to me, can dominate a football game. And with the issues that I've seen with the New England Patriots offensive line, he is going to hunt matchups. And they are going to have to figure out a way to take care of him and try to contain him. I watch Chris Jones be the reason in critical situations that the Chiefs won Super Bowls. A tip pass, a pressure, a fumble. I watch Aaron Donald pressure Joe Burrow. If not, Jamar Chase wide open on the sideline running, and the Cincinnati Bengals may be Super Bowl champions. I'm going to the interior with Leonard Williams. I think he's that type of player. Now, you got to have that juice. You got to be able to do it. But I'm going Leonard Williams because I think in order for you to be able to stop New England, you have to take care of Drake Maye's legs, and that'll be something that he can do as an athletic, big physical force in the center of the line of scrimmage.
My X factor is going to be Kenneth Walker because I think if you can run the football, New England has no shot whatsoever at beating you. If you're Seattle and you can run the football.
Yeah.
By the way, let's take a second here to while we applaud Sam Darnold and the job that he has done, can we also point to how lucky he is? Over the last 2 years, he's won 28 games, 28-6, okay? And his wide receivers were Justin Jefferson and Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a blessed individual. You understand? I mean, divine intervention is showering down upon you. When those are the last two receivers that you've had as your primary targets. Okay?
We're about to fight.
You understand what I'm saying?
Me and you about to fight.
I'm just saying, you got to give credit where credit's due. He's been great. He's been great, and he deserves all the credit in the world. But those are some bad brothers that he had available to him. That's all I'm saying. And so now you look at Kenneth Walker. I'm thinking about him because Charbonnet goes down, and Charbonnet, and we looked at him, we said, damn, that's a huge loss for them. And we forgot that you got a running back that's a 1,000-yard rusher that's averaging 4.6 yards a carry. Last two playoff games, 19 carries each game. Had over 100 yards against the San Francisco 49ers, only 62 against the Los Angeles Rams. But nevertheless, I'm just saying, if you can run the football, if you can open up your play-action game with the receivers that you have, with an experienced guy like Kupp, okay, with Rashid Shaheed, with what you got in Njigba, I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, you can run the football. You got any kind of running game whatsoever. I don't see how New England can win this game.
I always love the Super Bowl because I think it really maximizes the importance of coaching. It's almost like week one, you have all offseason to prepare for your week one opponent. Like you're going to be in the lab looking at that team. What is Vrabel doing the last week? What is he doing this week? What is Mike McDonald doing? It's all this X's and O's. And I remember covering the Patriots all those years. They had this guy, Ernie Adams. Do you guys know that name, Ernie Adams? He basically was Belichick's
right-hand man.
Yeah. Right-hand man. You never saw him on camera. You never saw him on film. He'd sit in a lab in the basement, and he'd watch every play, and he would chart it out. And then you'd give it to Belichick, and he would have an entirely new game plan for the Super Bowl. Would completely have a different thing that you haven't seen on tape because he had worked that hard. Vrabel has that. There's a guy named Stretch who's on staff for them, who's their secret weapon. It's his right-hand man, director of administration. Doesn't do media. He brought him with him from Tennessee. He was with the Rams for a year. I want to see that first quarter. What did you cook up in the lab the last 2 weeks? Because if Sam Darnold has thrown all these great games and thrown for 300 yards and all this, he's also had a couple 3-interception games and a couple 4-interception games. And we have seen Sam Darnold, the other side of Sam Darnold. Can Vrabel and that defense find it? I love the first quarter of a Super Bowl. The bright lights, everything. Who has been in the lab the most?
So who's your X factor? Would you say JSN is going to be the X factor?
No, the coaching staff.
Oh,
guys like Stretch and guys like that. And obviously we talk about Zach Core all the time. This defense, okay, Darnold's everyone's favorite story and the MVP and all this. Let's see what the Patriots defense has.
One more thing, too. Kenneth Walker, back to him. Out of the backfield, 4 receptions, 49 yards in the NFC Championship game. Yeah. He can pass catch for you, too.
Yeah. Okay, we're counting down to Super Bowl 60. Obviously, we'll be playing these X Factor games the whole time. I like the behind-the-scenes peel the curtain back, though, of the right-hand man's and the coaching staff. I wasn't expecting you're the X Factor here, Peter Schrager.
Let's go.
Coming up on First Take, we got lots to
mean in his first foray as being a head coach for a Super Bowl team.
Just the flow of the weeks. You know what I mean? You and I both, like just the feel of what it is. Explaining to guys, hey, here's what, right after the championship game, what does that week feel like as you're trying to prep for your family, when your families arrive? As he can go from the player side, when Jen and the kids arrive for him during the Super Bowl, hey, here's some great things to do, but let's not forget why we're here, right? We can go on vacations after we win this thing, but while we're here, this is not a vacation. This is a work week, but enjoy it with your family. Take your wife to some nice places with your kids. Bring them out on the field. Let them, go tussle around post-practice, your family, all your extended family. Like I remember my parents going to practices and doing things like that. Was all super cool. You know what I mean? And I think him understanding how valuable those moments are, but without missing the point of why we're here. When we're here to work, and we're going to get our work in. Practice is going to be sharp. It's going to be crisp. We're going to dial this thing in. And then, but let me help everybody here. Winning the Super Bowl is completely different than being at a Super Bowl.
Doubt.
And so let's make sure we don't put the cart before the horse and what we're trying to do.
Well, Jeff, let's talk about his quarterback, Drake Maye. He's been dealing with that shoulder injury. He says he's fine, that he's turned a corner, that he's been throwing the ball. But how concerned are you with the shoulder, and what will Josh McDaniels need to do from a game planning perspective if that shoulder is a hindrance at all?
Yeah, I'm not concerned. I mean, players get banged up, whether it's a separated shoulder or whatever it is. He's going to go through it. It's better football through better medicine with one game left. And so they're going to do whatever it takes for him to feel good going in. And I don't think that you make, once a player gets injured, Michelle, like your body, you kind of know. And so as you're taking on the shots, it's the ones that you can't predict or can't see, right? Like if a guy throws a Nolan Ryan on the offensive line and so, meaning a no-hitter, and the guy's bearing down and gets a hit, but the ones, called runs or expected shots where he can see it, he'll be able to brace himself. So I'm not overly concerned with, will he be able to fight through this thing? He's a tough kid. I watched him at Carolina. He's a Tar Heel. That dude is taking some vicious shots, and he's a gamer. So I'm really not overly concerned with this, especially him taking these passes and throwing them in during practice. He's throwing the rock around. He's going to be just fine.
We are on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Out here live in San Francisco. Coverage of the big game brought to you by SoFi. Enjoyed by Jeff Saturday, ESPN NFL analyst. Jeff, do you remember more the Super Bowl you won or the Super Bowl you lost?
Oh, that's a great question. I remember him for different things. I mean, I honestly, like, I heard the Sean McVay, worst loss comment the other day, and the Super Bowl for me was by far the worst loss. I'm just going to be real. We had a better team, and Breeze and I argued about this. Brunell and I argued about this when he worked with, and I was like, You don't think you have a better team in onside kick that's true. Coming out of second half.
You're trying to steal a possession.
You stole a possession. And they got it. And tip of the cap to Sean Payton, right? He did the things they had to do, but it was that one stings because I felt like going in, we had it. We have a drop pass for a touchdown. We did a lot of things, self-inflicted wounds that are painful to go back. But I will say this, like, I remember that and I think about it, but nothing beats the hoisting of the trophy and we beat a really good defense, and as an offensive lineman, we ran for almost 200 yards against that Urlacher-led Bears defense in the rain. Like, from an offensive, it doesn't get any better than winning that way, right? Sloppy, nasty, go get physical, and so I tend to lean more that way than I do going back to the painful one.
Yeah, we always remember those losses, man. The heartbreaking losses. For me, it was the divisional round 2007, losing to the New York Giants and them beating the undefeated New England Patriots. That one stung. We beat them twice. We beat them twice in the regular season and lost to them in the playoffs. And they did that on the way to winning a championship.
Crushes you.
But guys, the fact that you both go there, I think, is so interesting because the margin for this week, it's like all these players are so excited to be there. But the losing team may remember Sunday more than the winning team, based on what you two are saying.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt. Like those things hurt, man. I'm being real. You put so much in, and I think, and I don't know what to compare it to, but I would say like the amount of effort and energy you put in, and when you get there and you're so close to this thing and you lose, the pain that you feel, it is unlike, I mean, it cuts you deep to the quick, man, to your soul. It hurts because, I mean, it's like an abrupt end. I try to explain to people, no business operates the way our business does, right? Like it's such an abrupt end. We don't get 7 shots at it, you know what I mean? It is a one and done. And the finality of when you watch confetti drop on everybody else and their kids celebrating and you're walking back to this locker room, I'm telling you, it hurts.
Here's the thing, you look around that locker room and you realize it'll never be the same.
Never.
It'll never be the same. Jeff, I do want to ask you about the other team because we touched on the Patriots. Seattle Seahawks. A win on Sunday means more for who? Mike McDonald or Sam Darnold?
Oh, that's a great question, CC. I'll say Darnold. I'll say Darnold. Mike McDonald is a fantastic coach, and he is going to continue. The way he's built his defense and the way Schneider, they've knocked this thing out of the park, man. Like, they are built for – they're going to sustain – now, I don't know Super Bowls, but they're going to be a good team for many years. Sam Darnold being on his 5th team and taking this team to Super Bowl and what he has done really the last few years or last couple years has been special. And I love that story. And if he plays well in this game – like, let's just say he plays as well as he did in the NFC Championship game in the Super Bowl. Holy mackerel.
Super Bowl MVP.
And just how special would that be to watch a guy who gets run out of town, you know, at an organization who ain't won since 2000 or whatever it is, you know what I mean, the Jets, and then to move forward and to continue to believe. And I've heard him, and I will say this is the coolest story that I've been around in a long time. He doesn't badmouth anybody. Which is he don't say a bad word. This dude just keeps on trucking along and is like, hey, I love where I am. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep playing well. And, hey, man, tip of the cap, Sam. I respect the heck out of the way he's done it and pulling for him to play well. I mean, obviously, Maye's a Tar Heel and Matt Collins, so I'm pulling for them. But I want Darnold to play well, too, to help silence. I mean, he silenced me in the NFC Championship game. That kid played lights out, man. It was special.
Me too, and obviously great things from Jeff Saturday. Sam Darnold not saying a bad word about anyone. Can't play for Todd Monken based on that. Jeff will be on SportsCenter and then get up at 8 a.m. Eastern. Pat Costello, I'm over it next on Sportsmanlike.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen.